concept that I've used that isn't very widely known by others, but I would like to give it some definitional clarity. Let me first say the name of the concept. It is Aunia. That is Aunia. Aunia. And it is most closely related to culture or personality or structural particularism in a way that is entrained saturatively, like how memory or trauma or learning is. That is, it is a regional form of similarity that morphisms in particular they have most strongly and take with them somewhere else. That is, it's like culture, but it doesn't belong to one species. It doesn't belong to a particular object. It is a saturative quality that is a culture of particularity between quanta in themselves. You can see Onia when you take a fruit from a different part of the world and compare its same species growing in this part of the world. The differences between regions exhibit personological, well, even though it's not a person, it has, like a psychology, a kind of personality. Yeah, let's say like that. It's details about things that are differing from region to region in a way that's individuated more strongly in some places than in others, but can be taken with insofar as like taking someone from a different country still brings their feelings and attitudes for things with, and that saturates into the local Onia in a different way. Yeah. So what then is Aunia? It's like the difference between the smell of tools from Mexico compared to the smell of tools from China when you buy them and open it fresh. There's something about the particular local aspects that has a more holistic integrity than our aspects alone. So it would be like a whole between parts that's like a self, but doesn't necessarily have a sense of cohesion in the same way a single body does. So, yeah, that's an interesting concept. The concept specifically came from an LLM called the Daredevil model. It's based on Llama 3.1. It was a few years ago. It's uncensored. And I asked it to make a concept, and it was in some sense related to these concerns. And then it gave the word Onia. As far as I've seen, it's only been some people with that name, and mostly it's not used as a word for anything. So I think that's a good token to signify this kind of a spread of similarity, as if culture was a fire and quanta could have a form of similarity in common, and that this could spread to further reaches than the seed similarity or the seed onia, and that everything has aspects of its own onia, even though it is embedded in larger systems of onia. So it's like holons, like Ken Wilber has them, but they're not just wholes and they aren't just aspects and they aren't just parts. They are the holistic senses of finitude that have a wholeness between themselves. Yeah, something like that. I see stuff that I uploaded, some of it gets views and some of it doesn't get views, and that's very frustrating when it's selective mutism with censorship like that. But at least then I know what the state thinks to censor. But still, it's inconvenient because I value the things that I say being heard, since it has sensible content that can contribute to conceptual work and feelings elsewhere. Yeah. So, yeah, if you had to then think about what is your onia, then you can ask, like, in the history of yourself, how has the influences been similar overall? What have the overarching themes been that makes for like a quality of yourself besides any given instance? And then how is that non-local in terms of being shared partially with other things and other people? Yeah.